Hi, in this video I will show you how to solve merge intervals. The question says, given an array of intervals where intervals index I equals start I to end I, merge all the overlapping intervals and return an array of non-overlapping intervals that cover all the intervals in the input. That's a lot of intervals in one sentence. So here we see, what we see here is basically a list of lists, if we can speak bluntly. So we got a list of lists. We have a number, 1 and 3, and then we have 2 and 6. So let's take a look at this. 3 is bigger than 2, so that means they overlap. Therefore, you can merge this list to include numbers 1 to 6 right there. Okay, now that we have 1 to 6, if we look at number 6 and compare it to 8, we see that they do not overlap. So we can add 8 to 10. Next, we look at 10 and 15, and since they do not overlap, we add them directly. Okay, so that's what the question is asking. If the last number from the previous list equals the first number of the current list, then you simply merge them. Well, okay, so what we've noticed here is that these lists are sorted, but in the test cases, there are lists that are not sorted. So in order to sort a list of lists, all you have to do is intervals.sort key equal lambda x, x 0. So this line here sorts this to ensure that it looks like this. So this is the sorting. And the answer says return an array of non-overlapping. So we can say non-overlapping array. So it's asking you to return a non-overlapping array. So there we are. So in the middle here, we need the function to ensure that there is a non-overlapping array. So the first thing we can do is we can start iterating through our sorted list. So we say for I in intervals. So when I say for I in intervals, we already got 1 and 3. Okay. And the first question we ask if not merge list. So basically, if this list here, the non-overlapping array, is empty. So if this list is empty, what you can do is you can simply append the list directly. So if this one is empty right here, well, there is nothing to do, right? Just append it right away. But there is another condition where you also add the list straight into your non-overlapping array. And that's when this number here doesn't equal this number here. So how can we add a condition here that, hey, can you please check that this number here is not overlapping with this number or that number? Well, since the non-overlapping array already contains this list, I can say or -1, which literally means, if I'm going to illustrate the array, so let's say we have an array here. Let's say it's 1, 3, and what's the 2, 6. And then all I'm asking here is, this is -1. At -1 is not overlapping with my next list, I. So in this case, if -1 -1 is smaller than I of 0, so let's say the next I of 0 was 8 out of 10, 8 and 10. So if I0, so this is I0, which is from here. So if I0, which is 8, is bigger than this number, you can also just append this into the non-overlapping list. Okay? So one condition is if it's empty, append I. Another condition is this number here is much smaller, or not much smaller, just smaller than the next number in the I. So if these two numbers, if this number is smaller than this, then you can append it straight. Well, What if it's not? What if the list is not empty? And what if this number here is bigger than or equal to this? Well, then you overwrite it by the biggest number. So I keep writing merge list stuck in my head. What we say then is that at this position right here, which is 1 over 3, so let's take this as the live example here. So I'm just going to delete this. So let's say 1 over 3 and 2 over 6. So in this case, I already have 1 over 3 in my merged list. So this is in my merged list. And my minus 1 here is not smaller than 2. Actually, it's bigger. So that goes to the else condition. So in this position right here, I will say replace it with the value of 6. So that will look like, if I take the max, so choose a max, which is basically merge list minus 1, I minus 1. So look at these numbers and take whichever is bigger. Yeah, well, just in case this was 1 and 2, for example, then you don't want to add 2 directly to 3, but rather you want to merge them, but keep the maximum number between them. So you get this value from the non-overlapping array, and then we hit submit, and here is our answer. So really quickly, we sort it out because not all the questions will have the sorted intervals. So we sort it out. We create a non-overlapping array, which we return. If that non-overlapping array is empty, we simply append the list. Or if we append the list, if the last values are smaller than the current list. Otherwise, choose the maximum between the current one and the new list has been appended and replace it in position. Yes, thank you for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you have learned something new, please click like and subscribe to encourage me to create more videos like this.